Hello. We used to say seeing is believing. That was the rule. If you saw a face, if you heard a voice, you knew it was real. Reality had a baseline. But in recent years, things started to get real fuzzy real fast. The internet, once heralded as the ultimate library of human knowledge, is rapidly transforming into a hall of mirrors. Recently, the criminal underworld has gotten a huge software update. We aren't talking about the Nigerian astronaut stuck in space emails anymore. We aren't talking about the grainy photos of soldiers on Facebook asking for iTunes gift cards. We're talking about an industrial scale, AI-powered distortion of reality. Today, we're going down the rabbit hole of AI scams. We're going to look at the Brad Pitt gang in Spain who scam women out of their life savings. We're going to look at a Florida man pretending to work for Elon Musk, caught in a huge money laundering scandal. And we're going to dissect the $25 million Arab heist in Hong Kong that changed corporate security forever. This isn't just about scams. It's about the moment we lost our ability to trust our own eyes. Everybody lock in. The Brad Pitt romance scam. Our first story takes us to Spain. In 2024, La Guardia Civil, Spain's oldest law enforcement agency, launches Operation Bralina. The target? A criminal ring that had managed to convince women that they were in a serious, committed, and spiritual binding relationship with none other than Hollywood A-lister, Brad Pitt. Now I know what you're thinking. How does someone believe they're actually dating Brad Pitt? The guy's one of the most photographed humans on Earth. He's been in some of the most recognizable movies in Hollywood. Brad's usually surrounded by paparazzi security. He's probably not chatting on WhatsApp with random ladies on the internet. The scammers didn't just pick up random numbers. They went hunting for very specific targets. They infiltrated online fan pages, places where superfans like to share photos, news, and share adoration for their favorite actors. They lurked, they watched. They built psychological profiles. They were looking for a very specific type of victim. Women who appeared vulnerable, perhaps going through a hard time, maybe suffering from depression or a lack of affection in their real lives. Once they identified the mark, they didn't just slide into the DMs. They played the long game. At first, they posed as administrators of the fan clubs. Then they slowly and methodically escalated to posing as Brad Pitt's mother, Jane Etta Pitt. Imagine that level of social engineering. You aren't just getting a message from the star. You're getting vetted by his mom. When Brad finally did show up, he didn't come empty-handed. This is where the AI comes in. The gang used generative adversarial networks, known as GANs, to create photos of Brad Pitt holding up signs with their victims' names on them. You can imagine a GAN as two AI brains locked in a room. One AI is the counterfeiter. His job is to draw a fake picture of Brad Pitt. The other AI is the detective. His job is to look at the drawings and shout fake or real. At first, the counterfeiter is terrible. The detective catches it immediately. But here's the trick. They play this game millions and millions of times a second. The counterfeiter learns from every mistake. Eventually, the counterfeiter gets so good that the detective, who knows exactly what Brad Pitt looks like, can't tell the difference. Once the detective is fooled, the deepfake is ready. Well, where is this tech in 2025? Well, the AI art war is over. If you say AI art, it's probably this other technology called diffusion. But GANs? GANs are the speed demons. They're the only ones fast enough to swap a face in real time. When you see a scammer on a live video call pretending to be your boss or Elon Musk, that could be a GAN. The scammers also sent customized messages. They sent manipulated photos, but it wasn't just all about the technology. It was the script. When La Guardia Civil raided 5 homes in Andalusia to bust this ring, they found something truly chilling. They found a notebook, a physical handwritten diary. Police described it as a manual for manipulation. It contained the specific phrases, the love scripts, that were most effective at breaking down the victim's defenses. They were A/B testing love. They wrote down what worked and what didn't. One of the phrases found in the investigation was, "My love for you is true. Feeling from my heart and forever, please forgive me and accept me. It is because I love you, and I'm very much in love with you." It reads like a bad romance novel, right? But combined with the isolation of the victims and the AI technology, it was a devastatingly effective method. One victim in Andalusia lost €175,000. Another in Basque Country lost €150,000. That's over $360,000. And a French woman named Anne reportedly transferred a whopping $850,000 to the scammers. The scam followed a classic narrative arc, but with a Hollywood twist. The fake Brad Pitt claimed he was in the middle of a messy divorce with Angelina Jolie, which to be fair was all over the real news at the time, adding credibility to the scam.
Big news out of Hollywood. After 12 years together and 6 children, Angelina Jolie is filing for divorce from Brad Pitt.
He claimed his bank accounts were frozen because of the legal battle. He needed his new soulmate to help him finance humanitarian projects, investments, and help with medical issues he was having, with the promise that they would be together once the ugly divorce was over. The police were only able to recover about $100,000 during the raids, which is a big win for La Guardia Civil. Usually no funds are recovered in these types of cases, along with mobile phones, bank cards, and 2 computers used to run the operation. But the emotional damage to these women and their families was irreparable. These women divorced their husbands, alienated their families, and emptied their savings because they believed they were living in a movie. According to the most recent judicial updates from the investigating court, number 4, 2 of the 5 arrested individuals, considered the ringleaders of the cell, are currently in a provisional prison without bail. This is a preventative measure used in Spanish law when there's a high risk of flight, destruction of evidence, or reiteration of the crime. The 3 remaining arrestees, along with 10 investigated individuals, have been granted provisional release with charges. They are likely required to appeal periodically before the court and had their passports confiscated to prevent them from leaving Spain. One identified member of the organization remains at large, with an active search and capture warrant issued. This case proves something important for our current dystopia. You don't need a massive computer network to hack a human. You just need a script, a few deep fakes, and the knowledge that everyone gets lonely from time to time. But if you do have a massive computer network, well then, you could do what they did in Hong Kong, the $25 million Ghost Conference. In early 2024, an employee at the engineering giant Arup received an email at their Hong Kong office. Arup is known for its work on high-rise towers, smart buildings, and hospitals. The email was from the UK-based chief financial officer of the company. It said essentially, "We need to move money. It's a secret. It's urgent." But the employee was smart. They looked at the email and thought, "This looks like a scam, bro." We've all been there. The employee was suspicious. They did exactly what the security training tells you to do. They hesitated. They didn't click. But the scammers had an ace up their sleeve. They said, "Okay, let's jump on a quick conference call." The employee joins the call. They see the CFO. They see the other senior executives. They see colleagues they recognize. Everyone's nodding, talking, discussing the transaction. The voices sound right. The faces look right. The employee breathes a huge sigh of relief. They think, "Okay, I'm in a room with my boss. This is real." But it wasn't real. The employee was the only human being on that call. Everyone else, the CFO, the execs, the colleagues, were deepfake avatars generated in real time. Let that sink in. This wasn't a pre-recorded video message. This was a full-fledged conference call. The scammers had taken hours of public footage. The executives doing speeches, interviews, old Zoom calls, and used it to train an AI model. They created an army of digital puppets. The fake CFO gave instructions. The employee, their suspicions totally evaporated by this point, proceeded to make 15 transfers to 5 different bank accounts. Total loss, 200 million Hong Kong dollars. That's about 25.6 million US dollars. Woo, that is painful. 25 million lost in a couple of clicks. I could feel that one in my spirit. The employee didn't even realize they had been duped until days later, when they checked with the real head office. Can you imagine that conversation? "Hey boss, just checking in on that 25 mil. "What 25 mil? This case changed the game. Before this, we thought, if I can see you, I can trust you. Now, visuals are zero trust. But who builds this tech? It's not just some random hackers in a basement. It's an industry. The cybersecurity researchers at Group IB identified a threat cluster they called Gold Factory, operating in the region. These guys are the arms dealers of the deepfake world. They develop a suite of banking trojans called Gold Pickaxe. This malware is terrifying. It isn't just a simple password keylogger. It tricks you into scanning your own face. It captures your biometric data. Then the syndicate uses AI face swapping services to create a deepfake of you. They can use your face to bypass banking security apps that rely on facial recognition. They can become you. Shockingly, the hackers in the Arup AI scam were never caught. This caused a huge public outrage from citizens and companies in the region. The Hong Kong police didn't take this laying down. They launched a massive operation. By October 2024, they had arrested 27 people connected with similar deepfake rings using the same methods and tools. These 27 arrests revealed a cross-border operation. The syndicate was using the pig butchering model, building romance or investment trust over months, but supercharging it with deepfake video calls. They recruited victims globally, used AI to change their voices and faces to look like attractive women or successful finance influencers. If the Arup perpetrators are ever caught, they could face potential punishment for these crimes under Hong Kong law. Obtaining property by deception, that carries a sentence of up to 10 years in prison. Fraud, which carries a sentence of up to 14 years in prison, and money laundering, which can carry a sentence of up to 14 years imprisonment and up to a fine up to $642,000. The Arup case is the Ocean's 11 of AI crime. It was a sophisticated crime, and in the end, the hackers were never found. But sometimes the crime isn't sophisticated. Sometimes it's just a guy in Florida with a power washer. Florida man scammed $600,000 pretending to work for Elon Musk. Meet Jeffrey Arthur Moynihan Jr. He's 56. He owns a business called Jeff's Painting and Pressure Washing LLC. He lives in Bradenton, Florida. He is, by all accounts, a regular blue-collar guy. Until November 2024, when the Bradenton Police Department for elder fraud kicked his door down.
Hey, Mr. Quick, if you want to do anything. What's your name? Yeah. How do you pronounce your last name?
Oh. Jeffrey was arrested for grand theft. He was accused of scamming a 74-year-old woman in Texas out of $250,000. But here's the twist. The woman didn't think she was sending money to a painter in Florida. She thought she was investing with Elon Musk. The victim had befriended the fake Elon on Facebook in 2023. They talked for months. Elon told her about his visions for the future, for Mars, for humanity. And of course, he offered her a chance to buy in. He promised her a return of $55 million. The weird part is, Elon told her to send the money to Jeffrey Moynihan. But why did she send the money to Moynihan instead of Elon Musk, or Tesla, or even SpaceX? The Elon imposter had a story for that too. He claimed that the real Elon Musk was otherwise engaged with the most recent launch of SpaceX, and couldn't handle the transactions personally. Because when you're too busy launching rockets, you definitely use a random painting company in Florida as your financial agency. The victim's husband, who watched his wife give away their life savings, told police that the total loss was actually closer to $600,000. But this wouldn't be a real Florida man story without a crazy twist. Turns out, Jeffrey Moynihan wasn't even the mastermind of this scam. He was just a mule. After further police investigation, they discovered that Moynihan was also a victim of a romance scam. He believed he was in a relationship with an online girlfriend who he had never met. She convinced him to let her transfer money into his business account, Jeff Painting and Pressure Washing LLC. She told him to keep a little for himself and to convert the rest into cryptocurrency. This keeps the scammer invisible, and the paper trail is left in Moynihan's hands. So you have a victim in Texas thinking she's investing with Elon Musk. You have a victim/perpetrator in Florida thinking he's helping his fake online girlfriend. And sitting at the top of the pyramid, a Nigerian IP address found by the police. Moynihan pleaded guilty to money laundering in October 2025. He got 1 year in prison, and he has to pay back the $250,000. But the fake Nigerian Elon, he's still out there. This case didn't use high-end deepfake video like Arup. It used the concept of celebrity. It relied on the fact that Elon is known for actually responding and going back and forth with people on the internet. Has Elon ever responded to one of your posts? Leave a comment below. The Malaysian AI Face Factory. Our final stop is Malaysia. If Florida was the retail outlet of scams, Malaysia is the factory. In late 2024 and throughout 2025, the Royal Malaysia Police started dismantling what looked like a Hollywood studio from hell. The police detected a massive wave of AI-generated videos. They featured Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, Elon Musk again, and Donald Trump, all promoting fraudulent investment schemes. These weren't just one-off videos. These were full-fledged ad campaigns. The Malaysian police raided call centers in Kuala Lumpur, including a massive bust in the Bangsar South District. We're talking about office towers filled with hundreds of people, rows of computers, and equipment dedicated to generating these fakes. But the rabbit hole goes deeper. Threat intelligence researchers at Infoblox found the digital infrastructure supporting this. They called the group Reckless Rabbit. Reckless Rabbit used algorithms to register thousands of domain names every day. They created fake news websites that look like the BBC or your favorite local news outlets. You click on an ad that says Donald Trump's secret to wealth. You land on a fake news site that looks real. You read a fake article and you end up on a fake investment platform. This is the industrial complex of fraud. You have Gold Factory building the malware, Reckless Rabbit building the websites and buying the ads, and syndicates and call centers staffing the phones. It's a supply chain. And you're the target. The Malaysian raids arrested over 400 people, but for every center they shut down, the software, the AI models, the scripts, the domain algorithms, they just moved to a new server. We are entering the zero trust era. If you can't verify it with a digital key or physically touch it, it might not be real. The police are constantly making arrests in Spain, Hong Kong, Malaysia, but technology is moving faster than the law. It is scary that AI is getting smarter. But what's really scary is that we still want to believe. We want to believe Brad Pitt is in love with us. We want to believe Elon Musk wants to make us rich. We want to believe the boss is actually on the Zoom call. AI crime isn't just about hacking your computer. It's about hacking the human heart. I want you guys to promise me something. If Sydney Sweeney DMs you on Snapchat, maybe just leave her on red. Stay safe and stay salty.